So,
Hello.
what about leaving? Like, if we could take you in somewhere where you can get insurance, okay? And then instead of me towing your vehicle, I know you're worried about me seizing your vehicle, which I don't want to do if I don't have to.
Well, and I believe you don't. Here's the problem with that. Insurance is commercial insurance.
Yep.
It actually, in there, I have to declare my property as being under the authority of Canada, and I declare it to be performing a public service of some kind. And I'm not performing a public service, right?
No, I'm just going by the laws that I'm supposed to enforce in this province where you need insurance.
Well, no, I understand that, but here's the thing. Just answer me a quick question. I mean, aside from the Criminal Code of Canada, it says that the public has the right to the use of the highways, and rights are unconditional. They're a right. And the fact that then Section 15 of the Criminal Code of Canada says that I don't have to obey a de facto government, and Canada is a de facto foreign administration. They admit that on the website for the Governor General of Canada. Okay, I don't have to obey a de facto foreign administration. Then we go back to the Bill of Rights. Now, the Bill of Rights obviously supersedes a Highway Traffic Act, right?
Well, the charter is the supreme law of Canada, but
Yes, it is.
I'm not a lawyer that's going to argue.
Now, actually, Section 52 actually clearly states that the charter is the supreme law of Canada.
Yep.
And then if you go back to Section 32, it tells you it only applies to the government of Canada, agents and officers of the government of Canada. It doesn't apply to private citizens.
No, it applies to everybody.
Oh, no, there's case law on that. R versus Dell and Big Eb Drug Mart all say that it does not apply to interactions between the private citizens. In no way, shape, or form do any of the statutes. Not only that, the Bill of Rights clearly says, right?
Well, without getting into a giant legal argument.
Well, no, but hang on. Just tell me if this makes sense to you, though. The Bill of Rights clearly says in it that I can't be denied property without due process of law. Number one, I can't have property seized, right? Just arbitrary confiscation of property is against the law. So that's against the law. Seizing my truck would be against the law.
Yep.
Okay? Not only that, it also says in there that no law can be written or construed so as to abridge or infringe on any of my rights, which means the Highway Traffic Act, if it says you have the authority to take my truck, then it's construed or it was written to try to infringe or abrogate one of my rights, which means there's no force or effect, and I don't have a license binding me to it. I don't consent to be regulated by it.
Okay. Well, you're putting me in an awfully difficult spot.
I know.
I'm trying to make your life easy,
I know,
too.
sir. I actually just want to go home, and like I said, if you guys have a charge against me, you're more than welcome to make one. There's no injured party who's making a claim against me, which means I'm innocent of any wrongdoing right now. I'm not committing a crime. If I'm being accused of a crime, that's not a cause of action to deprive me of property, right? I can only be deprived of property by due process of law, which means I've been found guilty of a crime. Seizing my truck at the side of the road would be a crime because there's no due process.
And I'm trying to find a way around that for you.
I know.
Like, you can park it here. I can take you someplace where you can get insurance. You can have the truck towed wherever you want.
I will never be getting insurance ever again. It says right in the papers you sign that you are declaring your property to be government use. Okay, I'm not government use. I don't know how many ways I can say that. I want nothing to do with the Foreign Administration of Canada. Okay, the Charter and Rights and Freedoms is Schedule B to the Canada Act, UK of 1982. The Charter and Rights and Freedoms is a piece of United Kingdom legislation, and it was an act to rename the British North America Act, which means that Canada Corporation. I recognize you as a peace officer under His Oath of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who's the keeper of the trust of the Commonwealth. That's common law. Now you're trying to come at me with Canadian, with commercial codes of Canada, of the corporation from the United Kingdom. Okay? If you're a peace officer under the Commonwealth, you cannot try to contract with me through statutes under Canada. Right? That's malfeasance of office. That's being double-minded. Okay? You can't be double-minded. It's either one or the other. I haven't breached the peace.
Nope.
I haven't committed any crime. There's no injured party. No one's accusing me of anything. But you want to take my property. That's a crime. That's against the law.
No, I want to make sure that you have insurance so you can legally drive your property. You have no driver's license. You have no insurance. You have no registration. You have none of the things that you need.
That's all Highway Traffic Act stuff,
Absolutely.
Right? Which is all basically everything that I just spoke to you about, to do with common law, Charter Rights and Freedoms, and the Bill of Rights all supersede that. That's the lowest piece of legislation in existence. It's superseded by everything I gave you.
And this would be a scintillating argument in the court of law, but we're not in the court of law right now. We're on the side of the
but
road. I have a job to do.
I understand that. I don't want to waste
your
your time, believe me. I really don't. I actually, really, my free will is to go home with my private property right now. Right? I don't want to be denied my free will, and I don't want to have to cause another big stink where I have to start coming after the police and putting PPSA liens against RCMP detachments and coming after people because I don't want to do that. You want to go home to your family tonight? I want to go home to my family tonight, and I want to take my truck with me, and I want my rights respected. And my rights are to not be deprived of property without due process of law. And you believing I need insurance is not due process of law. Okay, so if you want to charge me with something, you know where to find me. I was very forthright with where I can be found.
Absolutely.
All documentation. I'm being peaceful. I obviously know the law, right? And all I want is my rights to not have my property confiscated without due process of law. I want that right. I want my right to access the highways. I want my right to be not hindered by agencies of government when there's no injured party. Whether or not there may be an injured party down the road is irrelevant. Okay.
Well, it isn't to me because you're right now that's having an injured party down the road. Like as a fellow human being, and like you said, you want to go home to your family. I want to go home to mine.
In fact, there's more likely to be an accident right now by you accidentally getting hit by a bad driver on these highways. I don't want
you to resolve this as quick as possible.
I agree. Right? So after that, I mean, I'm going to want probably another peace officer to come out to be my witness. I'm probably going to want a show cause hearing right here on the side of the highway. I want somebody to show cause why they believe they have the right to deprive me of my property.
Well,
I'm probably going to wind up calling them. Then, like I say, if you have a charge you want to bring against me, bring it against me afterwards.
I can do that right here.
Yeah, then charge me with something if a crime has been committed, right?
Right.
Then charge me and present me with the original charging instrument.
Yep.
Right?
I can do that right here.
I know.
I'm just trying to be decent with you.
I want to be. Honestly, my free will is to go home. You know, the Bill of Rights says that I have the right to not be deprived of private property without due process of law.
Well, the Bill of Rights isn't an American thing. It's the Charter of Rights here in Canada, right?
Oh no, 1960 Bill of Rights, Diefenbaker. You've never read the Bill of Rights, Canadian Bill of Rights?
Well, the Charter, like you just said, the Charter of Supreme Law of Canada supersedes everything, right? So.
Yeah, and again, Section 32 says it only applies to agencies of the government. I'm not a government agent.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have government ID. If I had government ID, let me ask you a question. Do you own your driver's license? Is it yours?
No, it's not mine.
It's property of the province.
Absolutely.
So even if I had a driver's license, would it be mine?
Yeah. Well, it's semantics, and like I said,
it's not semantics. It's a very big point of law, right?
Yeah.
And we do have you've never read the Canadian Bill of Rights, passed by the Diefenbaker government in 1960. See, I've read that, and I'm a house builder.
Yeah, I'm a house builder too. I built houses for years before I started doing this.
Nice. Really, that's nice. I like tradespeople. Tradespeople normally get this kind of stuff faster.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I don't want to contract with you guys. I don't want to contract with you tonight. I don't want to do business with you at all. Okay? I don't want to do business. That's actually one of the most fundamentally protected human rights on the planet is the right to not contract with somebody.
Yep.
I don't want to contract with you, right? You do not have my consent. I don't want to contract with you. I'm peaceful. I haven't breached the peace.
Nope. And you're being polite with me, and I
have no reason not to be polite with you because you've been incredibly polite with me. I just want to go home, and I know my rights, and I know I have the right to go home with my property.
Okay,
if you want to bring a charge against me, you know where to find me.
Yeah, we can do that right now. I can get you the paperwork right now if you want.
Yeah, what would you like to charge me with?
Well, not having a driver's license.
Okay, that's a statute.
No insurance, right?
Okay.
And no registration either.
Okay, well I don't have a driver's license.
So you could have a temporary operating permit, which would allow you to drive without having registration.
That's an operator permit, again.
Exactly.
I don't require any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have your opinion. I have mine.
Mm-hmm.
I've done my research.
Mm-hmm.
You've never read the Bill of Rights. We have one. Okay, and the Bill of Rights is actually for the people.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution of Canada is for the Corporation of Canada, which is a piece of United Kingdom legislation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's actually a foreign administrative authority. That's why Canada is spelled in all capital letters.
Mm-hmm.
Her Majesty on the beginning of your Motor Vehicle Act is spelled all capital Her Majesty. That is not Her Majesty the Queen and Right of Canada. That's not Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth
mm-hmm.
of the House of Windsor. Okay, it's a registered corporation in the United States. I've got case law on that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to enforce commercial codes on me that have nothing to do with me. I know that's all contract law. I don't want to contract with you through the Corporation of Canada.
Do you understand what the purpose of insurance is? The purpose of insurance is do you have looks like the truck's in decent shape, but
it's most certainly roadworthy.
But it has a mechanical failure. Okay.
Yep.
You go left to center and you pile into a minivan where the sole breadwinner of that minivan is killed, right?
Okay.
Nothing to your fault, but that insurance company, the purpose of that is so that the wife and the 3 kids in that van have some reason, some way.
Well, number one, I can tell you right now that Canada has something called no-fault liability. Okay, and that means that it doesn't matter who's at fault. Those people are covered whether they have insurance or not, and whether I have insurance or not. We have no-fault liability in Canada. Okay, and number 2, if I was driving, pretend that was to happen. Number 1, that's an act of God. Nobody can stop that. Insurance can't cover that. Okay, insurance doesn't even cover act of God. Number 2, where was I going with that? I had another point, but I get lost sometimes. If I was driving in an irresponsible fashion, or I was speeding grotesquely and endangering the public, that's now a common law crime, right? That's a jury can hear that.
Which you weren't. The reason I stopped is because you don't have a license plate.
I absolutely agree with you, and then what I'm trying to say is what I said before, is everything that I've read off to you, which supersedes the Highway Traffic Act. In fact, the Motor Vehicle Act clearly states in there that if you're a non-resident of Canada or a non-resident of the province, which I'm not a resident. Resident means to hold office. Okay, do I look like I'm wearing a uniform?
Where do you live then if you don't live in Canada?
Oh no, a resident and where you live are 2 different things. I inhabit the province of Manitoba, the proper one. Okay, I have a domicile there. I am a non-resident, and it says right in that act itself that non-residents only have to comply with the laws of the jurisdiction they come from. I come from the common law jurisdiction, sovereign man on the land. All right, I don't have to obey a de facto government like Canada. Section 15 of the Criminal Code clearly states that. I don't have to obey a de facto government. I gave them notice of that. So everybody's been notified, all parties, and I'm completely complying with the law. I'm in complete compliance with the law right now.
Okay, well, just give me a minute here, and I'll try and get you out of here as quick as I can.
Thank you.